ដីខ្មែរគឺជាមហានគរស្រមបបរតាំងតែពីបុរាណវប្បធម៌អរិយធម៌រុងរឿងខាងការខ្មែររស់សុខសាន្តមានសិទ្ធិសេរីឥឡូវខ្មែរចៅចិនយួនឆ្លៀតពៀនទឹកដីខ្មែរគ្រប់កាយស្មាំចិនបដូរជីវីសឹកសង្គ្រាមខ្លាំងក្រាប់ពេញលើធរណីខ្មែររួមសាមគ្គីការពារទឹកដីកម្ពុជាឯករាជ្យបានធៀបពីទងខ្មែរបានសុខទាំងអងគ្រប់អាត្មាសូមប្រពុតឲ្យពរសុខសាធុការសាធារណរដ្ឋថ្មីគ្រប់គ្រងផែនដីដែនដីខ្មែរគឺជាមហានគរស្រមបបរតាំងតែពីបុរាណវប្បធម៌អរិយធម៌រុងរឿងខាងការខ្មែររស់សុខសាន្តមានសិទ្ធិសេរីឥឡូវខ្មែរចៅចិនយួនឈៀតពៀនទឹកដីខ្មែរគ្រប់កាយស្មាំចិនបដូរជីវីសឹកសង្គ្រាមខ្លាំងក្រាប់ពេញលើធរណីខ្មែររួមសាមគ្គីការពារទឹកដីកម្ពុជាឯករាជ្យបានឃ្លាតពីទងខ្មែរបានសុខទាំងអងគ្រប់អាត្មាសូមប្រពុតឲ្យពរសុខសាធុការសាធារណរដ្ឋថ្មីគ្រប់គ្រងផែនដី
យើងខ្ញុំប្រកាសណាសូមក្រាបថ្វាយបង្គំព្រះគុណជាម្ចាស់ជាទីសក្ការៈសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរឯកឧត្តមសាស្ត្រាចារ្យបណ្ឌិតដាមចក្រីអគ្គស្ថាបនិកអគ្គមេបញ្ជាការឧត្តមគណៈប្រឹក្សាផ្នែកជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិជាទីគោរពដ៏ខ្ពង់ខ្ពស់និងសូមជំរាបសួរបងប្អូនខ្មែរទូទាំងសកលលោកនេះចាប់នេះជាកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីលើកទី21ថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានប្រធានបទស្ដីអំពីលើកស្ទួយសង្គមកិច្ចខ្មែរទស្សនៈស្ត្រីយើងខ្ញុំនឹងបកស្រាយជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសនឹងអរគុណ Good evening and welcome back to Supreme Council of Khmer Progress You Khmer Lady Viewpoint, our number 24 show. And now I would like to introduce our panelists this evening. Right now we have Ms. Chhyna Chan and we have Ms. Kalianu. And my name is Chhovy. I am your host tonight. Before we begin our show tonight, this past Tuesday, we have a tragedy that struck at an elementary school in Texas. And I would like to read out our condolences on behalf of His Excellency, Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam. On behalf of His Excellency, Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam and the entire Sckhk organization, the Sckhk Khmer Ladies Viewpoint is very deeply saddened by the news of the murder of the Sckhk organization. In the Sckhk Khmer Ladies, you all with the family of the murder by the news and the people of Texas. Thank you, Bongmani. Oh, Chhyna lady, you have any word to say about this tragic murder?
Yeah, Bong Chhovy, thank you. You know, what had happened, this really hit home. And this is something that any of us can ever fathom, you know, a situation like this keep occurring, which, you know, nonstop. It adversely affected those live who has young children, grandchildren like myself. My thought and prayers go to the families, Bong, and hopefully may these beautiful angels rest peacefully in heaven.
Yes, Chhyna, all of us, three of us here, we do have grandchildren. I am speechless and disbelief. My heart goes out to all the family members of the 21 victims. No amount of words can express the pain that those family, are going through. And, they're two heroes teachers. This is very heartbreaking. And my sincere condolences to the family members and may those beautiful soul rest in peace, Bong.
Thank you and welcome back, ladies. I hope you ladies are ready for another exciting show. But before we start a show, we have a short around 2 or 3 minute video. Momini, may I have the video, please? Thank you, Momini. Lady, when I see this video, it make me joy with happiness. I cannot wait until that day, to our people, Cambodian people have that bright day. We are looking forward until that day. So thank you, lady. Last show, I didn't have chance to send my condolences regarding your mom. I am so sorry for your loss on Sray, and also congratulations to you and your daughter at her wedding.
Oh, thank you so much, Bong. Last month, it was our mom 100 days traditional Buddha ceremony. And it was her last journey through the adobo rainbow. We scattered her ashes per her last request at Waikiki Beach. And all my siblings, her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren were there present to witness the beautiful rainbow, that we sent her off to the beautiful sea. And besides that, I spent a couple weeks with my children asking Bong.
Thank you. And Chhyna, I heard your grandchildren come visit you on.
Well, yes, Bong, indeed, they're here. You know, I can never get over them. So now that I'm here doing a live show, they're at the beautiful place, the casino, swimming. So I have a little bit more time to, talk with you all. So yes, I can never get over them. I mean, you know, you have grandchildren yourself, and I know how that makes you feel, you know. But I'm just thrilled that they're here, and they're gonna stay here for a while.
Thank you,
Yeah,
ladies.
thank
Thank
you
you
for
very
asking,
much.
Mom.
Thank you. Thank you. And as for me, I am very excited. As you know that the Supreme Council of Khmer Lady Viewpoint has gained much attention in the last year. Our audience base has increased, and I am so glad that we brought awareness to Pon Khmer, non-Khmer speaking and foreigners alike, to be educated about our dark history. Now let's jump into our topic: empower the Khmer farmer community. In the Khmer would be let's do Khmer. I feel that this topic is compelling because we all addressing 85% of our problem, which is our country pain. The majority of the population suffers and it neglected by the puppet regime. They are currently living in poverty and majority are making less than the cost of a cup of Starbucks coffee, $5, lady. Tonight we will attempt to enlighten, encouraging, and inspiring all going Khmer. The change will happen and we will happiness in the land of Sawanapum. I feel very positive about this lady. Let me start with you on Kalyan this evening to kick our show off.
Oh, well, thank you so much for your powerful statement. Enlightening, courage, and inspiring. You know, this is how Lopatian has inspired all of us in the last 3 years. You know, he gave us the new hope that our country would be better than ever, Bong. Our people will soon be living with dignity. You know, earning less than the cost of a cup of Starbucks coffee is a shame, you know, to the name of Khmer Empire. You know, Bong, you know, this is the 85% problem that everybody failed to recognize it. And this is not a popular subject to talk about, you know. And tonight, us lady, we are going to make everybody fully aware of it. And we will try to do our best. And you know, ladies, Singapore is the second highest earning per capita, but you know, they are no different than us. We have more natural resources, you know, we have more history, and we have more pride than them. But the no good king took it all away from us to favor the Vietnamese for his gain. But you know, after the revolution takes place, Lopatian will make sure that our pride will return to the land of Savanapum. And I truly believe in no time our nation pride will be restored and respect of the whole world. And they will look to us for support financially. Yes, I did say financially. And I am not joking about this, ladies. We are the luckiest nation on this planet to have the most financially influential person that every nation is seeking for support and financial advice. And I'm going to repeat this again. You know, I am very adamant that within 5 years, the whole country economically will be so bright and clear that our financial world will be rated very high in the Moody rating. You know, it would be the AAA plus, and this is no joke. You know why I'm saying all this? You know, with Lopatian $10 trillion credit line to dispose, which means that Lopatian has a $10 trillion credit line that he able to use it in whichever he likes to use it for. You know, to rebuild Cambodia. I'm sure that's the first priority for Lopatian is to rebuild our country. Thank you, Bong.
Thank you, On. It's very incredible, On Kalayan. So, On China, what is your thought on this, On?
Well, Mom Chovy, let me give you my thought. Mom Kalyan, what you just said, we have all the natural resources and the oldest history, but we fail to care for our people. We are probably the last in ASEAN with the highest number of our population in poverty. that make less than a cup of Starbucks coffee, like you mentioned earlier. 85% of the populations are farmers, and we have the richest farming soil in Southeast Asia with a 2.5 square kilometers of farming land. It does not make any sense, that we cannot feed our people, or our people cannot feed, themselves off their own land. The full potential income from rice farming alone will take all the farmers off the poverty line. To give them some understanding of rice industry market value today, the retail value per kilogram, is about $2 for jasmine rice at retail stores in the United States. This is about 2,000 retail price per metric ton. Let's do the math here. Let's say for 2.5 million hectares of land with 2 harvests, per season, with 5 metric tons per hectare and 2 harvesting. Each farm could earn a potential of $20,000 gross for every hectare. Wow.
Yes, you are correct, Chhyna. But this government failed. They have no interest in empowering the hardworking force of the 85% of our population, which we all addressed this issue in the roundtable show last week with the economy and finance. The Vietnamese puppet government is afraid to lose the power grip of the dictatorship that they have been in power since 1979. Per my discussion with Luong Sorapek last month regarding the farmer community, the new Khmer Republic government will be focused on its mandate. One is we're going to eliminate poverty and share prosperity by investing in human capital. 2, tackling rural poverty is what Ông Chhyna said about the 85%. And 3, building basic infrastructure. 4, empowering the communities, Bong.
Well, thank you for sharing your discussing with Lupu Sorapek on Kalayan. Chhyna, please share your input regarding this statement mentioned by Lupu Sorapek. Lady, I have to say this, we cannot afford to be at the bottom of ASEAN. When we take over the country, we must strive to become the best economy in ASEAN, regardless how long it will take. As I said last week in the roundtable show, the ASEAN market is the opportunity that we must capture along with the US market. The total population is over 1 billion people for ASEAN and the US market. And what is your thought on Chhyna?
It is a very thought out plan, Mong Chhovy. Just, please remember that we are now in phase 1 of our Sckhk mission that Luc Phin put in place in October 2016 when he engaged with the elite group to liberate Cambodia. And this phase is about coming to an end, and phase 2 is about to kick in when the time is right. What we are sharing is proof of this systematic planning of Luc Phin with the utmost high-level advice from the elite team. When we are discussing or sharing in phase 4 of our mission, the process will be a thoughtful assessment of the economic data before we launch the appropriate action plans. However, here's what Luc was referring to, Bong, as he had expressed and implied. The new Khmer Republic government framework for Cambodia for the first 5 years strategy, it is earmarked in the 4th phase for rebuilding, which will be focused on the following: growth, number 1, and then number 2, employment, and very last, equality and efficiency of all development model.
Thank you, Chhyna. Chhyna, what you just said was very enlightening and encouraging, mainly focusing on the growth plan part and employment plan part. On Kalayan, what can you share with us about the growth and employment plan on?
Well, I will try my best to share with everyone without everyone getting bored, But I will not go into too much of the technical details, Bong. And I will cover the general ideas plan, which the World Bank and especially the ASEAN Development Bank also made recommendations to the Hun Sen's government. No, this is a proven concept in developing economy in many developing countries. Some area must be focused on to capture the growth and create employment. And the agricultural sector is essential due to we are 85% farmers. In my opinion, it has been proven factor globally that the following three components are essential to improve the economy. One is to promote and boost private sector development. Two, fostering human development. And three, improve agricultural productivity. And we must enhance the financial sector development and force private enterprises to boost the private sector bond.
Oh, Claudia, can you please elaborate when you said enhance financial sector development?
Well, the private sector that we are referring to is the farming sector with 85% of the people who are farmers and their enterprises. They have their farming land and farming know-how, and they know how to farm. And it has been proven in 2012, 2013, 14, and 18 that Cambodian rice was named the #1 4 times, the choice of jasmine rice in the world, beating Thailand and Vietnam. And I am very confident that with the right financial enhancement program, plus a secure supply chain management program, will be a springboard and frankly, that the Cambodian rice farming industry, take it out from the gutter bomb.
Okay, Claudia, hold your thought on this secure supply chain management program. I want to come back to Chhyna on her thought out the 85% of the population. Chhyna, please share your thought on much of the population that the government failed to support on.
Of course, Bong, Khmer society middle class is a non-existent in our culture right now. This 85% of people that Bong Kolian referred to is 99% farmers. They made about $5 to $6 per day. That is why we have 2 million migrant workers in Thailand right now. So what a shame. 5 to 6, that is the cost of a cup of coffee nowadays, which, some of us can't afford a coffee. How would it be possible to feed a family of 4 to 5, 2.5 million farmers? This number is enormous. They were significant private enterprise sector that the government ignored even since the capitalist market was reintroduced again after the 1991 Cambodia-Paris Peace Agreement. Even worse, 10 years ago, the rice farming sector began to boom, only to be spoiled by the bloodsucker An's family when his elder son got involved in the rice industry. From there, the farmers start to lose interest in it more.
Thank you, Chhyna. But I will circle back to you on what you just said, the big number. Now, I want to come back to Kalian about the financial enhancement and the secure supply chain management for rice. Kalian, please give a little detail on these two items.
Bang, rice industry is a big industry. Rice is consumed worldwide as stable food. We have proven that Khmer can produce quality rice and we should pursue it, go forward, keep on going with it. This is a multi-billion dollars industry. Now I'm going to break it down so we all can understand the whole thing better here. Here's what we know, that we have top quality rice, which is #1 multiple times. 85% of our people are farmers and hardworking people. And our 2.5 million hectares of arable soil are very rich for rice farming. To bring our people out of poverty with $5 per day, the financial enhancement and the secure supply chain management program is much needed to empower the Khmer farming community. Our farmers can farm, but they lack of the financial ability to invest in planting the crop. And most of all, the market for their crops after harvesting with visibility of requirement from the buyers. Rice farming takes up to 3 to 5 months of farming, depending on the breed of the crops. And this is a long lead product. It requires some forecasting and planning. This time requires some capital for farmers to cover their farming expenses before harvesting. Now, under the new Khmer Republic government, agriculture is priority to the new government to empower the industry. And during one of our live show, Lokpatian mentioned that farmers would be entitled to receive up to 30% of the projected crop, that value advancement and investment capital for their farming under the co-op farming program. This program is to stimulate the 85% population to be financially independent.
And how about the secure supply chain management program fit into all this planning, on?
Well, this secure supply chain management program planning will give the visibility of the orders or shipment needed from the retailer requirement to seed provider with plan for their requirement. This includes every sector involved in the chain of delivery of the products to the end user or to the buyers. This is a vast scope of process or movement of products from the producer end to the consuming end. And to make this all possible is require a large amount of financing requirement or a financial underwriter. And for the rice industry, it is hard to compete because Thailand and Vietnam are so advanced right now. But I am so sure that we can break into the market due to the global financial apparatus that Lokpatian has.
Let's pause here for now, but do not lose the thought on this. I want to get on Chhyna involved in the rice industry supply chain apparatus on Chhyna.
Okay, Chhovy, this rice industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry that involves the many sectors of industries such as number one, manpower, labor, and then number two, fertilizer, number three, grain storage and milling, and then four, trucking, and then five, shipping, ocean liners, six would be exporters and wholesalers, and seven, importers, retailers. Well, like Bong Kalian said, the secure supply chain management will manage the flow and the requirement of each sector to ensure that those orders will be filled per the purchase order. What does this mean by security in the supply chain management? All sectors see the demands from our end buyers with a payment guarantee. Well,
thank you. Let me return to you on secure supply chain management program on.
Well, rice is a long lead item, as we said before. To compete with our neighboring countries like Thailand and Vietnam, we must be prepared to meet significant buyers' challenges, requirements, and demand globally. To accomplish this task, we must have a financial pillar to ease the concern of the buyers about our ability to deliver the product. And in other words, Lokpatian will be providing buyers with a financial guarantee to ease the money cost of the purchasing their inventory.
All right, can you break it down for us on?
Sure, let me give an example here, okay? Let's say that Costco is our buyer, and they buy lots of rice for their 572 stores in the United States. And they would place their order well over 6 months or more in advance for future delivery. Before they place the order, they would need some assurance that the product would be delivered, which would be hard to prove or to sell due to the track record that Cambodia does not have, except that our rice was number one in 3 years straight in a row, 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2018. Again, I am very sure that we can overcome this because everything at this large order, there's always politics involved and of course how much they could save bomb. And the rice supply chain management require strategic planning before planting it. Such as seed and fertilizer, we must have enough to meet the demands. And most of our farmers require a financial outlay to support them during the planting and harvesting time. This would require an agricultural bank to accommodate this process before harvesting. Again, as Lokpatien said, 30% of the projected harvest crop is to be advanced. This supply chain management allowed everyone in the chain to have visibility of the requirement and shipment. In plain English, okay? Buyer will be protected with a performance bond. If the seller failed to deliver, the farmers will be guaranteed that their product will be sold.
Thank you, On Kalian. On China, what are the other agricultural products can Cambodian produce on?
Well, Cambodia is the agricultural country. Agriculture continues to be a significant sector for Cambodia, providing more than 1/5 of national economy and employing more than half of the total workforce. Cambodia can produce many crops such as mango, peppers, and bananas, but we fail to export. We only have rice right now, Bong. Per the United States Embassy, Cambodia continues to import vegetables and fruit from neighboring countries to supply the domestic market. Something like 30%, Bong, about.
You said we are importing 30% of vegetable. So how much does we produce daily on?
Well, if we do the math, we produce about 420,000 tons of its vegetable per year, which is not enough to meet Cambodia's need and increase daily consumption. Well, this should not be the case. I do not understand why the 30% importation is estimated to be, about 150 million of vegetable products every year.
Chhyna, I would like to inject this part here. According to the United States Agency of the International Development, USAID website, about 80% Cambodians live in the rural areas, and 65% depend on agriculture. And with this number living in the rural, we are still short of vegetables and fruits. This does not make any sense at all, ladies. In Khmer, is Khmer lazy or unable to feed himself? And we must import 150 million of vegetable every year. This is what, are we lazy? Are the Cambodian people lazy? Con Khmer lazy? I don't think so. Or are we just incapable people?
How about the people that are homeless or landless to farm or China? What is the Khmer Republic solution to alleviate their problem, especially the 2 million migrant workers in Thailand?
Well, Mong, during one of our live shows, we stated that the new Khmer Republic government should be allocating every Kun Khmer with land to farm and land to build a home.
Oh, where would the land be coming from?
Well, Mom, this is not hard at all. According to the Likado current website, Hun Sen granted nearly 2.2 million hectares of land concession to his cronies. Just, one close friend of Hun Sen's wife has over 300,000 hectares of land concession in Kampong Chhnang province. So this is a lot of land to be held by anyone or any corporation under the new Khmer Republic government martial law. These concession land well subject to confiscated and allocated to the most needed people to begin rebuilding their lives again.
And for those who are not in the farming or and are homeless, the new Khmer Republic government will also have a home for them. There are overbuilt apartments, condos in Phnom Penh, or even in Sihanoukville. And those condos or apartments were built for foreigners, to own. and definitely not for Khmer to own. 85% of our Khmer can own condos or apartment because they barely make $5 a day, with a hard working labor job. And how could they afford those apartments? Each costs about what, 100,000 and up?
Oh, goodness.
Well, Bong, under the new Khmer Republic government, the national emergency law or martial law, every homeless people will be entitled to a roof over them. So this means these empty apartment or condo will be placed in the home transition program for the homeless people and the returnees from Thailand.
Lady, we all talking about the, at least 2 million people returning home, and mostly they are farmers.
Yeah, most returners are farmers working in Thailand to send money home to keep up the microloan, they have owed to microlending. The average microloan debt per borrowers in Cambodia is about 3,370 US dollar, the highest average amount in the world, according to the report. Well, as you can see on the diagram, 3,750 average outstanding loan per borrower is very high. It is almost, double the per capita of 1986. What is the total outstanding loan out there right now, Bob?
Yeah, okay, Owen. Go ahead. You could you
Continue.
but it's
Well,
okay.
I'm sorry. This is very alarming, Mong Chovy. The number of data it will share with everyone in all four of the country. Those 2.4 million Cambodian hold a total of at least US $8 billion in outstanding microloan and amount equal to about 1/3 of the country, gross domestic product of GDP for 218 states, stated the report. However, the US 8 billion figure is a conservative estimate as is only capturing microfinance institute and two commercial banks.
Wait a minute, Owen Chhyna. Did you just say $8 billion in total outstanding microloan? That's a
Yes,
lot.
I sure did, Bong. More than 80 microfinance institute registered with the National Bank of Cambodia, NBC, at the start of 2019. There are hundreds of smaller NGOs, rural credit operators, and unlicensed money lenders that also offer microloans. Let me add to this. Last year, Lokutin and Lokuso sent out a warning letter to the owner of this institution, and I have read the letter out loud on the live show in English, Bong.
Did you have the breakdown of what and why the borrower need the loan on?
Well, while many borrowers took out loans to get set up, to set up a small business or pay for necessities such as food, medicine, and sizable portion was used for household items or consumer goods such as motorcycles or mobile phones, about 83%. And then loans were also used for agriculture purpose such as buying machinery or farm animals, only 17%, which the low crop prices or droughts inevitably led to to inability to service their debt for those who have the ability to repay depending on how well their farms did.
Well, thank you, Owen. Lady and gentlemen that are watching us now. What Otina just said is about the microloan. This sounds more and more like predatory lending. Microfinancing is designed to bring them out of poverty, not to get them into debt that they could not repay back. 8 billion in microloan of the 2.5 billion borrowers and farmer, and 15 billion, I'm talking about billion, for sovereignty loan. And all gold Khmer, 85% of population are farmers, have a total of debt of 23 billion US dollar. Wow, lady, it's just unbelievable. That's all I have to say.
The microloan institution will be reviewed by the new Khmer Republic government. And earlier this month, the NGO in Cambodia filed a complaint with the world body with 6 major micro lenders with the Office of Compliance, Dispute Resolution Advisor of the International Finance Corporation for failing to meet its obligation to take all the necessary measure to christianize, no, what is that what I want to use?
Scrutinize wrong, you mean?
Yeah.
They're scrutinized.
Scrutinizing, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
they
the
scrutinize
project,
the
sorry.
project. Yeah.
Thank you, Chhyna. To ensure compliance, with standard, plus an article published on the Human Rights Watch on January the 5th, 2021, that the World Bank is investigating the micro lenders in Cambodia. The microlenders shareholders have been advised that their banks or institution will be subject to audit when the new Khmer Republic takes control of the country. And ladies, I cannot wait to see justice will be served, because I have heard firsthand of their pain and suffering every single day. And the total outstanding loans are about what 10 billion for the at least 2.5 million families.
We have talked about the secure supply chain rice management program. We talk about the debt and hardship that our farmer have. Now let's talk about how much they all produce and will be able to make with the land of 2.5 million hectares. Chhyna, can you take lead on this one?
Yeah, well, let me see here. Per the Center for Policy Study for Development Cambodia, an article dated December 2017, about 4.5 million tons of paddy have been annually processed into meal rice in Cambodia. This is only half of the total paddy produced in Cambodia. Another 50% is about 4.5 to 4.7 million tons of paddy remain unprocessed and are likely exported to Thailand or Vietnam. This means every year our farmers produce almost 10 million metric tons with the funky agriculture system we have. Imagine when we have the secure supply rice chain management in place. Mom.
Yes, in Chhyna, the reason why 50% or more of paddy rice is exported to Thailand and Vietnam, excuse me, because the government failed to find a market for the farmers or the exporter to mill the rice. And with the secure supply chain management program, will provide our people with the edge of security that their livelihood is safe.
Lady, I am so excited to know that our farmer will have hope with their crop soon. Now let's look into what is involved and how much it costs the farmer for the hectare to produce and rice from start to harvesting. Chhyna, if you can.
Yeah, total farming cost per hectare varied from $350 to $705. This covered the chemical input service and seed, which were the three highest farming components. Farmers' profit varied from 136 to 233, while the return to family labor varied from 5.3 to 10.5 per day. Early, we, during the wet season and dry season, non-fragrant system consume the highest chemical input, which those concerned about the impact on the well-being of a farmer, consumers, and the environment long.
Chhyna, the milling cost is another significant expense. The total milling cost per 1 ton of milled rice vary from $46.25 to $92.50. Fixed asset like energy and financial costs were the three highest component of the milling cost structure for all milling systems. The return the return to capital vary from 1.8% to 13.9%, and it is currently the milling plant have increased a lot since 1993 on.
And, let's get this, Kalyan. The number is correct, but the value added was created between US dollars 107 to 408 US dollar per ton of meal rice. Rice farming on an average share approximately 50% of the total value added created in the rice value chains. The analysis shows that the higher the value added built, the higher proportion goes to farmers. of the total value added generated, which is 23%, went to millers and 18%, goes to retailers, tellers, and the 9% to the collectors. Bong.
Thank you. On Kalian, the number you lady just provided are very impressive data. Can you summarize for our audience of the total cost at the mill?
Bong, it is very complex to discuss the number and the cost of the added value to arrive at the actual price. But just too complicated to share. But I'm going to share the profit for each farmers. It's not enough, Bong. With the $5.30 to $10.50 per day, farmers average out per day is not enough. We can't even buy a cup of Starbucks coffee in Phnom Penh if we are talking about equality, Bong.
Let me ask you this, just a direct question, nothing fancy, lady. What could be done? We are talking about 85% of the country are farmers. I am so frustrated, lady, to hear about this hardship our face every day.
Yes, it could be done, Bong. Loc has everything in place to stimulate the aquaculture industry. But, let me share with everyone that the mechanic of how and what we could do in working our way to make money for our farmers. The mechanism is to be competitive and profitable. One is to establish and the secure supply rice change management. Two is to bring the energy cost down, like the diesel and the electricity. And three, bring down the cost of chemicals. Four, promoting and adopting of good aquaculture practice and sustainable rice platform for farmers to find niche market for higher value. And five, maximizing milling capacity utilization. Bong.
The energy factor, Mongolian, is significant to rebuilding our country. Under the Khmer Republic government, we would not be allowed the energy sector to be controlled by the private sector. All the Oknya are electricity distributors and importers, retailers for gasoline and diesel. We need to bring down the electricity cost below 10 cents per kilowatt. In Thailand, their electricity cost is what, 110 Mong for household, and then 1.08 for businesses. And for Vietnam, it is only 1.7 cents. This is why we need to do better than just 0.10 cents per kilowatt, Mong.
How about maybe Kalian could help me out. How about the logistics system like trucking?
The wealthy and influential people control the trucking industry in Cambodia. And, I understand that even one of the Oknya can't even break it into it. This will end as soon as the Khmer Republic government is established, Bong. Suppose we will compete with Thailand and Vietnam to export 5 to 10 million metric tons of rice per year. Our logistics system must be very efficient. Shipping the thousands of the 20-foot containers down the highway to the seaport will not be competitive. Let's figure it out. And with the 100,000 metric tons of rice, Chhyna, how many container would that take on?
Well, Mong, let me cover this one if I may. Each 20-foot containers will be about 21,500 kilogram, or about 21 metric tons. For 100,000 metric tons, it would be 4,762 containers. We are talking about 5 to 10 millions of metric tons, and then it brings down to 238,100 to 476,200 containers per year. We need to plan for this much growth to bring our farmers to the level they deserve, Bong.
Lady, this is a huge number here. Why are you so confident about this possibility? What on Kalian?
Bong, look what we know here so far. Hun Sen and his government neglect our farmers. Again, they are the 85% of the country. And they are making an average of what, $5 per day? They have struggled to produce on average 9 million metric tons of rice a year, which half of it, exported to Thailand and Vietnam. Again, yes, yes. I'm very 1,000,000% certain that we can do it, Bong. If we all committed to bringing our country out of the gutter of ASEAN. We have the arable land, which is 2.5 million plus hectares, and we have the labor force to farmers, which is, we have 2.5 million farmers, and we have the will to farm, which, we all Khmer are very hungry right now. Our farmers know how to farm. Our rice was number one 3 years straight. And plus, 2018, which is, 4 years. We need the market to sell their crops and the government support. And here to assure them, Lok Patin financially controls 9 regions with 8 billion people. With a $10 trillion credit line, which he can use it, whatever he likes to use it for, to help our people. And 3, as the most influential person on this planet, Lok Patin is currently opening the African market, as we all have seen in the Congo industrial complex and on the video the other day. Should I go on and on more? This possibility is endless, to open the market for Cambodian farmers.
Let's look at the other possibilities, and we want to be the more powerful country in ASEAN in the future. And I agree that it would be a shame if we fail to do so. Due to that, Lok Patin is our backbone and the leader of our next era. Ladies, yeah.
We cannot be the financially powerful country in ASEAN if we are only rich in agricultural products or sectors. Young generation will not want to be farmers anymore. We need to plan and be ready to take the leadership in ASEAN. Do not get me wrong that, I think that we should abandon the agricultural sector. It will be the backbone and will bring, and it will continue to be the central GDP. And the world is rushing into artificial intelligence, the AI. Everything that we see, we touch, is controlled by IT, information technology. Every farming industry is developed country uses IT or AI to better their farming or crop output. With the financial apparatus that Lok Patin is giving us to all Khmer, we must make the best of it and take the capital advantage very seriously, ladies. After all, just like Dr. Henry Kissinger always said, whomever controls the money controls the world, and we do not want to control the world. We do not want to control the world, but we certainly want to control our destiny.
That I couldn't agree with you more, Bong. Like we mentioned about Singapore, is a small country that came out of Malaysia, breakaway in the mid-1960s. And now look at their people are enjoying the prosperity of fruit, their food that their leaders planned for 50 years. I am with you, Bong Kalyan. We should be the leader of ASEAN in the future. I hope during our lifetime, we must be wise, and I'm sure we have enough human resources to do this. Our youngsters have more than 60,000 college graduates every year and are, of course, hungry for advancement every year. When Lok Patin's financial resources, he said, and political clout, mostly the vital political allies he has established in Europe and in the Middle East and ASEAN will be a breeze to obtain the task. Why and how? Straightforward, ladies. Everything needs money to be successful. These countries and region need Lok Patin financial backing for their country's projects. With this advantage, we should not fail or go sleep, go to sleep or be asleep. Again, at the wheel. Corruption will be deleted from our culture of life and business and all together. Bong.
Thank you, Chhyna. Earlier you said agriculture should not be the only thing we should depend on or focus on? What sector should transform our economy to what industry own?
This is a very good question, Bob, and thank you for asking. You know, Singapore and Israel would be the two countries to look at and view our thoughts towards it. The two first things that would come into my thought would be finance and the high technology industry. Now, our country should be taking the position of the leader in the financial hub for financial transactions to accommodate the high value of commercial transactions. You know, this should be able to hold high value assets such as gold and diamond in our central bank or vault. And you know, when we control the movement of the financial apparatus, we will hold the finance pulse of the world.
Okay. Okay, let me stop you here before we go into fall. And I forgot the question. You said gold and diamond. This sound very interesting and sound very exciting. If I may add, and I would, would this be tied into or brought about to have our central bank hold them gold and diamond on?
You know, among every owner of asset, you know, is looking for a safe haven to store their hard asset. You know, if we have money, we want to place it somewhere safe. You know, we have the money, right? Or the asset. So, you know, we only trust that it would be safe over there. You know, as Locotian is our backbone, the level of trust is very, very high. The oldest trust firm in Switzerland will be our central bank underwriter. You know, just like when you place your money at the bank in the United States, you know, you trust that the bank is insured with the FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, you know, or controlled by the Federal Reserve, rather than the bank in African nation or country. You know, the other potential is that any parts of the undeveloped countries is the continent of Africa that is facing shortage of food. You know, they have lots of, everyone know, diamond and gold. You know, especially in the Republic of Congo. You know, we have ample food when we have the secure supply chain management. You know, they need food and we have it. And our national central bank would be more, I'm sure, than happy to get payment in those hard assets like gold and diamond.
Food will be a scarcity of items in the future, Bong, to per World Food Organization and the World Economic Forum said. By 2050, the world must feed 2 billion more people, an increase of quarter of today's global population. The demand for food will be 56% greater than in 2010. What does this mean? The value of food is valuable as gold or diamond. We should be able to export food in exchange for good as diamond. I am very confident that with proper planning, our rich arable soil will be able to produce an abundance of food to export.
This is very positive outlook, lady, especially since we all importing 30% of vegetable from Thailand and Vietnam right now per the U.S. Embassy in Phnom Penh. Onka, can you please explain how would be possible?
You know, Bong, Khmer is not lazy, Bong. You know, we do not have any hope under this puppet regime. You know, when hope is there, I am sure we could turn the table around from importing 30% of the vegetable to exporting food to feed the world. You know, right now we are producing way lower than we could be able to. And for example, our arable land is 2.5 million hectares. We only produce about 50% of our capacity. You know, 9 million metric tons of food only, Bong.
Oh my God, earlier you said technology is the other thing we should be focusing on to advance our country. Can you please elaborate on this, please, On?
Bong, you know, it's undeniable and we must not overlook at this at all, you know. Let me share one thought of Mr. Elon Musk. You know, the reason I'm bringing this subject up is when he first started acquiring the Twitter. And my husband and I, we did some research. All I know was, Elon Musk is the owner of Tesla. And I asked a lot of questions, and my husband told me to go do my own research. So I did, which I did, and in one of his conference in Dubai, and maybe about 5 years ago, he said that we should not neglect the consciousness, which, he implied that the most critical element in growth is our consciousness, which drives our destiny. We should follow our consciousness. Then he also said that AI will be the future. He has two other companies, that call Neuralink, and the other one is called the Open AI. And in my opinion, Mr. Elon Musk is a very forward and logical thinker. And we should associate with someone like him to springboard our technology research and development at the intellectual level. We should attract high-level, high-industry leaders to help us with our IT. Our future generation deserve to be at the forefront of the IT. We need the best technology and ideas. Cambodia should be the next Silicon Valley for ASEAN. And now is time to be capable of the opportunity. And because we have the financial resources, we have the political resources, we have the intelligence resources. And I am sure that Luc Patien already has his sight in those directions. And in the meantime, we must get our brick and mortar agricultural industry going. But we must first employ the 85% of the population.
Well, you know what, Bonko Yan, I wanted to add, to what you just said about Mr. Elon Musk. He's a brilliant man. He was the founder of PayPal also. He revolutionized how we paid for our products online, which I loved. His SpaceX project made NASA so embarrassed of their technology. He led us to think and look at things very differently. Yes, he would be a great partner in helping our young generation leap into the front of the line. We need to invest in artificial intelligence and other high tech. India, Israel, and Silicon Valley Tech Hub should be partners in developing the strategy to bring high tech to Cambodia. I totally agree with Bonko Yan. Now is the time to act and seize the opportunity before the window of opportunity shuts for us for the next 800 years. In summary, all the company worldwide need money. Even Mr. Elon Musk, the wealthiest man in the world, right? And Luc Patien has it all with no limitation, Mom.
Lady, what you lady just shared is very positive and very helpful indeed. But somehow, I'm still like mind-boggling about the fact of amount of spending $8 billion US dollar loan, out there for 3 million farmers. Do we have any solution down to giving our review the micro loan? I know we all, running out of time, but I feel this to our audience before we end this our show tonight, ladies.
Please let me answer this. Yes, our intellectual student group in Cambodia has started with a proposal of the recommendation to Lukbong Sorapet. Their recommendation is drawn up for a general level proposal that drafts of action of the plan to review and punish any institution that violated lending law, local and internationally. I have read the proposal, and it was disclosed by Lukbong Sorapet earlier this month, on one of our shows. Since we do not have much time left, I could not go into much of the detail, but the action plans are 7 steps of approach at the national level and local levels. The 7th step of the process or procedure are to conduct an auditing of each complaint and submit it for a legal review by the Micro Lending Committee Task Force, and then send it to court if find any wrongdoing by the banks.
You lady make my head rush with excitement and happiness to hear this. Now let's bring our show to a close. I believe we have gone over time, like But I would like to remind everyone that the new Khmer Republic government will focusing on the following area in transforming Cambodia into a powerful nation again. And I wrote it down. One, education. Two, health and nutrition. Three, road and reverse our railroad system. Four, improve livelihood through social development. Five, agriculture management. Six, land allocation for social and economic development. Seven, water supply and sanitation. Eight, sustainable environment. And number nine, water resource management and irrigation system. And number 10, last one, think tank for our research and development for IT, information technology, and AI is artificial intelligence research development. Ladies, again, I am very hopeful tonight to end our number 24 show. Please share your thoughts. Let's start with Chhyna first at this time.
Well, Mom, thank you so much, Chhovy. It's a pleasure being here, but I would like to share one of the wisest quote used by Lupus Lutherpick the other day. And, again, which I find it necessary to share with everyone. Yeah, this is what he said: the water may run deep, but yet is very shallow. In my own, everybody has different interpretation, has their own interpretation, but this is my interpretation. It simply mean that something we may find is far, but it's actually within our reach. So things can happen. Change is coming, at any given time. And, nothing is going to stop Lokpati and Dr. Ray Sidam for executing his plan, which we always mentioned, his revolution, transformation, reformation to take down the evil Hun Sen's regime. And thank you, Bong Chavi, Bong Kalayan. Before I end my closing remark, I would like to thank the most amazing people, Lokpatian Dr. Ray Sidam, Usurpet, and that means Van Ho, for your inspiration, your moral support, and word of encouragement. You made us believe that there will be hope and great future coming to our Khmer land. You never stop making us not believing that. So again, thank you, Lok Dong Bai, for your positive influence. All I wish for is that all the Almighty God from heaven above grant you all transcendental blessing and a bliss for future endeavors of our country, which with my gratitude and respect and hope, our accomplishment, we have done so much, we made through this past 3-4 years. So we're looking forward to, this great future for Awful Mind. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you. It's very beautiful thought. Oh, thank you. And how about Kalayan?
Yes, thank you, Chhyna. Was very well said on. We have come a long way, ladies. 24 shows as of today, with the ladies' viewpoint, and over 3 years, Lokpatian has been planning and strategizing to find the best solution to liberate our nation. Our future is depending on the next generation. We need to plant the seed now for tomorrow growth, which, you are the seed, you are the hope, you are the prosperity. Let's join hands and walk together with Lokpatian. Alone we will fail, but together we will build a better future. Cambodia is our home. Cambodians are our people. Our nation is our pride. No foreigner loves Khmer more than Khmer loves Khmer. Thank you, ladies. Good night, and thank you for all your support.
Thank you again, lady. You are wonderful. Thank you. My thought tonight, I want to reach out to all of my 3 or 4 that have been following us and supporting us with a wonderful comment. I am very grateful for your support. As our journey forward to liberate our country, your Lord, so much to us. We would not be able to make this show possible if we did not have your Lord's support. Our Lady Viewpoint will continue to bring the truth that any Khmer lady, Khmer outlet have not told. Thank you again, and on behalf of our Khmer Lady Viewpoint, we would like to Excellency Professor Dr. Racy Dam and with me Sabanho, all SCKHK members, and of course, last but not least, all our supporters around the globe. As committed, the Supreme Council of Khmer Rescue will ensure all the greater will be done justice. If you want to be part of the history, please contact us, My Lady Viewpoint team, or go to raycdam.org to become SCKHK member. Until we meet again next month, please follow the Khmer Politics and Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue. If you find this show of value, please share it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much and good night. យើងខ្ញុំទាំងអស់គ្នាសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណដល់អស់លោកស្រីប្រិយមិត្តតែងតែតាមដានកម្មវិធីទូរស័ព្ទស្ត្រីយើងនឹងវិលមកជួបអស់លោកស្រីសាជាថ្មីនៅវេលាក្រោយសូមអរគុណខ្មែរតែមួយកំឡាំងលើកស្ទួយជួយចិត្តគុំថ្កាខ្មែរក្រៅខ្មែរក្នុងក្រុងស្រែងើបឡើងជួយរៀមច្បងយើងដើម្បីមាតុភូខ្មែរអើយខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងក្រោកឡើងក្រោកឡើងក្រោកឡើងក្រោកដេញចោលមាចោលក្បន់សង្គមយន្តចិនឃាតកោកុំninhនិយមហើយស្រែកបំភ្លៃបនលំថានឹងមកជួយខ្មែរខ្មែរត្រូវលើកស្ទួយលោកប្រធានតែមួយតំណាងជាតិខ្មែរឯកឧត្តមដំឆិនរីក្លាហានពូកែបដញ្ញា ជួយខ្មែរបានសុខសាន្តអើខ្មែរអើយខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងក្រោកឡើងក្រោកឡើងក្រោកឡើងក្រោកដេញចោលមាចោលក្បន់សង្គមយន្តចិនឃាតកោកុំninhនិយមហើយស្រែកបំភ្លៃបនលំថានឹងមកជួយខ្មែរវេលាលោណាំងខ្មែរត្រូវលើកស្ទួយ